All right, let me take myself off mute there. Well, Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season so far. As I mentioned before, it certainly doesn't feel like Christmas outside, but trying to get into the Christmas spirit. And with that, got my stocking on, not my stocking, my hat, whatever we call it. Um, it's not going to feel like Christmas tomorrow weather wise. However, the weather is going to change. It's going to get colder again. And that's one of the reasons I came on to talk about that this evening, kind of give you an update on where we're at with our warm weather and then what we're going to see in the coming week and weeks into the first part of the new year. With that, we'll just start with current temperatures. As you can see, 75 still at DFW Airport, mostly mid 70s around the Metroplex, 60s out in East Texas, some 70s out in West Texas. There were some areas out near Abilene that got close to 85 today. So that is, again, not very December like. We did not set a record at DFW. The record was 88, believe it or not. We only got to 80, I think, something close to that, maybe 82. It was something like that. And now tomorrow, we got about a 50-50 chance of breaking the high temperature, which is 82. Friday, we have a really good chance to break the record high temperature for Friday, December 26th. And wouldn't be shocked to see a couple of 90-degree temperatures west of Dallas Fort Worth on Friday. It's just not going to feel like December, but that's about to change with the forecast. So let's just get into a couple of graphics here real quick. And so, as far as tonight goes for Santa's arrival, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Going to have some fog out to the southeast of Dallas Fort Worth. It's going to be in the low to mid 60s, which is not very Christmas like at all, as I mentioned. So, light south winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, and it is something that again is not very Christmassy to say the least. Now, what's it actually going to mean for tomorrow? Now, Christmas Day, like I said, the forecast high temperature at DFW is 82 degrees. That would, if we got to 82, that would tie the record, as you can see off to the left. Got a 50-50 chance of breaking that record. And of course, it is Wednesday evening, and that's our weekly test you may hear in the background, the weather radio. And as I always said, if you don't have a weather radio, just you ought to get one. And I want to welcome a fan, if you will, from Japan. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'm not real sure what time it is over there. It might be Christmas already. I'm not sure. Anyway, welcome to North Texas. So tomorrow, like I said, it's partly mostly cloudy skies, sunny skies in the afternoon. Again, not going to feel like Christmas, but it is going to be Christmas. Now, what's it going to do after Christmas? That's the thing. So I want to switch screens here and show you what we are looking at here. Let me see if I can do this. Nope, nope, getting rid of me. Let's try this. Oh, I got it. Here we go. All right, so let's go to a different screen here. And we're going to look at some forecast models. Here we go. Actually, I want this one. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the current temperature map, and again, if you see shades of yellow, then that means it's pretty warm temperatures in the 60s and 70s. So I want to put this into motion and show you what we're going to forecast as far as temperature changes over time. Now, this is going into the next couple of days. And there's what I want to focus on right there. Is this right here. So these purples indicate temperatures in the 20s. And I stopped it on December 30th. So that's Tuesday. So we'll back it up just a little bit. And okay, so this right here would be Saturday at midnight, if you will. And as we get into the early morning hours of Monday, pardon me, Monday, then you see this cold air kind of ride behind this cold front. That's Tuesday morning, temperatures potentially in the 20s. And then it starts to warm up gradually as you get into Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we are right back. That's not right. Okay, this model goes way fast. So that's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then it gets a little colder again, and then toward the middle part next week, it gets warmer again. There we go. We got 70s again. Then we have another cold front move through. It won't last very long on the 3rd. And then another bigger cold front is going to be here on the 4th, January 4th. And that's, again, you can see some colder temperatures there. So as far as precipitation goes, we're not looking at a bunch. But before we do that, actually, I want to look at upper level winds. So this is at about 18,000 feet. And so these are what we call the steering currents. And what we're looking at here just kind of drives the weather. So I'm going to put this in motion. And you can kind of see, so right now we have this ridge over us, but it's forecast to break down. And that's what's going to allow this little bit of a trough right here that's going to come down. And when you get this northwest flow right here, that's where you're going to bring some of this colder air down. But then it's not going to last too long. We're going to get this southwest flow, which brings us warmer temperatures, but then another trough, and then another cold front, and then another southwest event. So this is the pattern we're going to see the next couple of weeks, really. I always like to start there. And again, from a bigger picture, that's a European model, so I'm gonna go to the national blended models, which takes all the models together. And so if we do temperature, let's zoom in here a little bit. All right. So we'll put this in motion. Actually, I'm going to do this manually. So this is tonight, and then of course that's tomorrow, Christmas Day, pretty warm. And then also too, that's the day after Christmas. And it's gonna be Saturday. And then on Sunday morning, give or take, that's when that cold front's going to come through. And that's where you're going to see these temperatures really drop. Temperatures into the 20s probably for lows, not for highs. And then we'll see the temperatures gradually warm back up a little bit on New Year's Eve. Then but it's going to stay chilly, as you can see. This would be right at midnight on New Year's Day. Temperatures in the 30s for the most part. And then as we get into New Year's Day itself, you see it's going to warm up just a little bit. And then on on Friday, January 2nd, you'll see these temperatures warm up just a little bit. So it's going to be just a little bit of a roller coaster. But if you don't like the warm weather that we've seen the past couple of days, or really past week, really, then you're in luck, because the temperature is going to go down some when we get this cold front on Sunday. Temperatures down into the 20s, and then it's going to warm back up, and then it's going to cool back down in the middle part of the first week in January. So that's kind of what we can see from the bigger picture standpoint. Now, what does that really mean in the short term? Well, like I said, this is this weekend mainly. This is probably a good time. This would probably be midnight on Sunday, give or take. And so that is where it's going to be going to start to cool down. You can see over here temperatures for highs on Monday, 40s for DFW, 50s down south. And so it's definitely going to be cooler, that's for sure. And then also too, as far as the day-to-day, Friday's going to be 86. It won't be 90 in Dallas-Fort Worth, but just west of us it could be. And then Saturday it's going to start to cool down before that or warm up until that cold front comes through. And then on Sunday we may get into the 70s. And then of course Monday high temperature is 47. So as you can see, that is quite the difference between 86 and 47. 40-degree difference. So almost 40-degree difference. So you can, if you don't like this warm weather, don't worry, it will not last very long. I promise you that. Okay, so really that's all I have. Nothing big. We are not into severe weather season, obviously, so we're not going to have a lot of briefings on that. However, it doesn't mean that we couldn't have periodic episodes. It just means that we won't really even have a lot of chances for thunderstorms. Really between that and that, for the most part, between now and February. But we can have thunderstorms anytime in North Texas, as you know. So it's something I'm always on the lookout for. But like I said, it has been a warm couple of days. If you like wearing shorts, then it's been your kind of weather. If you want to be more in the Christmas spirit from a cold weather standpoint, then it's not going to be that way for Christmas, but it's definitely going to be that way starting late this weekend and early next week. It's just going to feel way more like the end of December, first part of January than it does right now. But it won't last long. It'll warm back up, but then it'll kind of cool back down. So we're going to be in this little roller coaster pattern for the next week or two. So with that is all I have. I don't see anything in the comments. Thank you for my visitor from Japan. Really appreciate that. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas over there. And I don't see any other comments anywhere else. So with that, I'm going to sign off. As always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. I hope everyone has a great Christmas, a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will talk to you soon.